dealing with a lot of stress lately. Number one being that Social Security has decided to deny me my benefits starting September because on paper I look like that I'm no longer disabled. So basically what they're saying is, since I haven't been to the hospital or been admitted or had surgery or had an intense procedure to treat my Crohn's, that my Entyvio, my chemo that I get, which I'm on my way right now, is supposedly curing me enough to where I should be able to work full time. Now mind you, do have the port in the arm. I can't hold more than 10 pounds. They said that I could find some type of other work to do, which no, bitch, I have gotten my degree. I went to college as a single mom. I had a baby in college and I finished. And I owe them a lot of money. So no, I'm not just gonna find a job because they believe that I can find one. Also, they've decided to cancel my insurance in September as well. So next month will be my last Social Security check. Mind you, I'm a homeowner and I'm a single mom and my son starts school next week. So they've decided that, yeah, that I am more than capable of going to a job 9 to 5, even though I can't go through a probationary period because I am constantly either running to the bathroom or I am having diarrhea or throwing up. So it's really ridiculous because all I want is to get my little itty bitty check I get a month so that I can pay my bills, and I can't even do that. So they said that I have to get a court date, so I have to wait for that. So I sent everything in that I could send in, and so that I can make sure that I have everything from my doctors. I have letters written saying that I can't work full time. I'm gonna start getting injections in my knees and stuff for my arthritis, so I can't really do that either. I can't do anything with that. So and I take 14 other medications by mouth. I'm on opioids. So it's been really stressful trying to figure out what I'm going to do with my life because I'm not going to be able to pay any of my bills. Sorry, I was swiping away a notification because there's a panhandler out here while I'm driving to chemo. And I don't have time for that right now. Like, no. They make more money than I do. I'm not giving them any money today. So I registered my dog as an emotional support dog so that I can have that in my arsenal of things. And then I had my doctors write in notes for me to say that I'm no longer able to work full time. What else did I do? I'm also seeing my doctors as usual, and they're like, so you've been out of the hospital, so on paper you're fine. Yeah, I've been out of the hospital because it's been a fucking pandemic, bro. I've been out of the hospital because I have a weakened immune system and I can't get the vaccine because it's going to inflame my white blood cells and I can get a blood clot, or I can inflame my Crohn's and I can actually, for real, end up in the hospital. I'm fighting for my life. Like, I watched my grandma die from turning off a ventilator from COVID. I stayed my ass out of the hospital for a reason because I don't want that shit to happen to me. You know what I mean? I have so many underlying illnesses: endometriosis, Crohn's disease of my terminal ileum, and colon, arthritis, enteriopathic arthritis that is derived from Crohn's disease. Very rare for patients to get that. Oh, and I have anxiety and depression. Oh, and I see a therapist. Oh, and I'm on anxiety and depression meds. Oh, it's hard for me to sleep, so I take sleeping meds. A lot of my meds make me drowsy. So you expect me to go to work, go through a 90-day probationary period. Sorry, I'm getting upset because I'm worked up because the fucking system is fucking flawed. It's flawed and it's fucking dumb. If you work for your Social Security to get it when you get old enough, or you get sick and you need it, they say fuck you. You're gonna fight for it. And just so that we're all aware, my infusion is $23,000 just for one infusion. So I guess I'll pay that with my non-income Social Security because I'm not gonna have any insurance. I'm gonna be off Medicare, so I won't have any medication. So Guess I'll just go to the hospital, get COVID, possibly die. You know, in order for them to give me my benefits that I worked hard for, that they took out of my check ever since I was fucking 15 years old. So when you fuckers are always talking about, oh, free healthcare, I don't want to pay for that. I don't want to pay for everybody. It's not my fault. You work, you get your healthcare. Bitch, I can't work. I need insurance. And in order for me to live and be a great mom, I need insurance to do that, to get my 15 medications covered and my $23,000 worth of chemo done. So think about that. So when it happens to you or your family member and your ass gets sick and you want to file for benefits and you want some insurance and they say fuck you, you can fight for it and figure out how I'm doing in my life. What has been going on with me, because that's exactly what has happened. Because everybody that's stubborn in America and are so self-centered that they would rather people like me have a chance at dying than to advocate for universal health care. You know what? At least if I had universal health care, if they're going to cut off my Social Security, I wouldn't have to wonder about how I'm going to survive and how I'm going to get my medications. Simple as that. Yeah, it's a long waiting list. It's gonna take a long time for you to see somebody. I don't care. At least I can see someone and not have to pay for it. It comes out of my taxes. Yeah, I pay taxes. I'm a homeowner. I own property. I pay taxes on that too. Not the only one that pays taxes. Y'all be acting like, oh, I'm the only one who pays taxes in America. I don't want my taxes to go to helping people. You need help, get your damn help yourself. That's why the system is fucked up. That's why it is the way it is right now. Because that's exactly how society thinks. Do you understand that if I don't have my medicine, that I could potentially die? If I need my bowel cut out, or if I bleed to death? I've had a friend bleed to death on the table because hospitals didn't believe her pain. They didn't believe her bleeding until it was too late. And when it was time for surgery, guess the fuck what? She bled to death on the table. I have a 13-year-old son who fucking needs me. Oh, I am heated. Like, I've never met any of these people. I bet you everybody on that panel has no fucking medical background, probably has no medical knowledge, has nothing. They looked at the paperwork that my doctors and myself had sent in and was like, oh, she looks fine. She doesn't have Crohn. She hasn't been to the hospital. I thought people with Crohn's are always in the hospital. She's perfectly fine. Why don't we make sure that she can find a job? Because, you know, she doesn't have appointments every month. And she doesn't take, opioids, or she doesn't need to do this. She doesn't need to do that. But she looks fine on paper. So obviously she doesn't need her monthly check. My check get one check a month. I live off of one check a month. I bought a house off of one check a month. And, why didn't you should have saved your stimulus check? Do you know how much stuff I had to buy when I had to homeschool my kid for a year and a half? Do you know what other things I had to buy for my house because everything was closed and I had to buy things in bulk because I wasn't allowed to leave my house? And my doctor said I should still stay in. You know why? Because I can't get the fucking vaccine yet. Because there's not people like me, because my Crohn's is severe. I have severe Crohn's disease. And these imbeciles think that they know me and can tell me what's going on with me and how I can fix it. And that I'm totally fine. You tell me how I'm feeling? Oh. And another thing. I'm pulling into chemo right now, so I will pick you guys back up after I'm done, because I gotta get this ticket out of here and it's a whole thing. So I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Thanks for listening. Hold on, I'll be back. so I'm back home, so let me finish my story. So last week, I wanted to call in and get all my medications refilled so that at least I can have everything refilled while I go through this Social Security thing. And mind you, it's only August. So I get my Xanax for anxiety because I've had increased panic attacks lately. So I called to get that refilled so that at least I'll have a month's supply of that. And they told me that I had to get an overriding approval because I take oxycodone, and that they don't think that I should take them. I don't need my Xanax because I take opioids. So do you think my doctor would write for anti-anxiety medications while I'm on chemotherapy and opioids? I think she knows. I don't think she would write a prescription if she didn't think I could take them. And it's not like I take them together. I take them when I can, and my Xanax is as needed. I don't take one Xanax every day. I take a Xanax when I need a damn Xanax. So I had to go through my insurance company. I had to cuss them out. Then once I cussed them out and got them to figure out what the F they needed to do, I had to call my doctor's office, my psych's office. Guess what? She's out until October. So I had to speak to the nurse and have the nurse override the order so that I could get my prescription sent to me. So it was overnighted to me. So I finally got it on Saturday. So then, this is not the first time that this happened to me. It's another time that it happened that I get Belbuca films that I put in my mouth too for pain. And I had a pharmacist tell me that he didn't think that I was in enough pain, that I needed 2 opioids. Because I had got that, and I think I had got something else for intermittent pain because I had gotten denied, or I had gotten discharged from the hospital. So they said, if my primary care can write me something for intermittent pain until my flare calmed down and my prednisone actually started working a little bit better when I got out of the hospital. So that was the reason I had that. So I had to literally talk to Walgreens. I had to cuss the pharmacist out. You're a pharmacist. You're not my doctor. You don't know my history. And all you have to do is look at my past medications and look at my history to see what's going on with me. You don't have to just tell me that you think you know what's best for me, because number 1, you don't. Number 2, you haven't lived my life. Number 3, you haven't just been poked and prodded in the hospital and having excruciating abdominal pain and a tube down your nose. You have no idea what I've been through. You have no idea why I'm feeling the pain that I'm feeling and why I need this medication. I shouldn't have to explain it to you either. If my doctor wrote for it, my doctor's been following me for 5 years, knows what I'm going through, then she knows what I'm going through. She's going to write it, and you feel it. You can call them and ask if you really, really, really don't feel like you should write it for me. You know, they always like to make black women feel like they don't have to deal with pain, or their pain isn't as severe, or we can handle it, and things like that. When you get these bitch-ass pharmacists and doctors who think they can tell us what's going on with our bodies and that we're not in the pain that we say that we're in. But you have Joe Smo who walks in and has a stubbed toe and he can get fentanyl at the hospital. But let me walk into the hospital. Guess what? I'm labeled as a seeker. I'm labeled as, oh, you already have pain medication. You don't need any more. Oh, your tests are coming back normal. They're elevated, but they're not that bad. You can take it. None of these professionals have Crohn's disease. None of them know what I go through every day. 10 to 15 bowel movements depending on what I eat a day. I eat once a day. Why I'm so fat? I have no idea, because I don't ever eat. I throw up if I get overly full, or I get nauseous very quickly. I'm on Phenergan and Zofran, so I alternate them because I get so nauseous. So for these medical professionals who are supposed to know all these medical things and know what a person should be, what symptoms are for a certain disease, you would think that they would know. But no, you want to challenge me and you want to tell me how you think I feel. You want to tell me that you think I need this and I need that and I don't need X, Y, and Z because you think that I'm okay. Like, this is total bullshit in America. In America, you have to fight for everything. You know, it's a pandemic when it comes to white folks and their pain medicine. But when you have a chronic illness and you have chronic pain and you need something, You don't get it, but you have these people on my 600-pound life who have ate themselves to 600 pounds, and they're on Dilaudid and fentanyl and opioids and getting all this pain medication because they're in pain because they're so fat. They get this pain medicine in the hospital. But here and they get Social Security too. They're disabled because they ate themselves to disability. I didn't ask for this. I didn't wish for it. I didn't make this happen to myself. But you're going to cut me off. You're going to make me have to go through another hearing because I haven't been to the hospital in 2 years because it's been a damn pandemic. Think about that. Think about that, America. America always has an answer for everything. People always have something to say. Oh, people just sit on their ass and collect a check. Bitch, I don't sit on my ass and collect a check. I'm a mother. I cook, I clean when I can. If I can't, I don't do it that day. But I make sure my kid has what he needs and what he wants. I make sure that my needs are met as best as possible. I have a roof over my head and I have food in my refrigerator. But I can guarantee you that if any one of these people who are so anti-healthcare were in my shoes or had a family member who were in my shoes, they would have a totally different outlook. Totally different outlook. Do you know one time I spent 4 days in a hospital because they did not believe me, but they kept me enough to admit me. They literally threw a heating pad at me and gave me some IV fluids, but kept me for 4 days against my will. And get this, it was the hospital that diagnosed me with Crohn's disease. They kept me. So then it got so bad to the point where my bowel was completely, almost partial bowel obstruction. So it means I had about this much open bowel. That when I went to my GI for my hospital follow-up, he sent me straight to his hospital because we had a different hospital because I had different insurance and had work insurance, which was the opposite hospital that my doctors that I worked for. So I had to go to their hospital. And guess what? I had a almost full bowel obstruction. And my bowel could have perforated and I could have went septic and died. But since the hospital didn't believe me and believe my pain and actually scan me or anything, they didn't do anything. They admitted me and gave me a heating pad, but kept me 4 days against my will. By the time I got to that other hospital, I had to have a tube down my nose. I was in the hospital for 2 weeks, 1 week with nothing to eat, hooked up to pain medicine, hooked up to IVs, hooked up to my port, hooked up to different things. I had so many issues that they couldn't believe that I could even walk at that point, which I was hunched over, like couldn't even straighten up my body. That's how much pain I was in when I left that hospital and went to another hospital and got admitted. This is serious. This is a serious disease. This is why I do what I do. This is why I post what I post. This is why I advocate and educate and let people know what's going on in real life. Because all you see is, oh, there's these medicines out here. There's these commercials that say that they can help cure Crohn's. There is no cure. Number one, I'm going to have it for the rest of my life. Number two, I've tried 3 of the 4 commercial medicines that they have. I'm now on Entyvio, and it's actually keeping me simmered down, but it doesn't mean that I'm no longer sick. That's not how it works, and I feel like Social Security is just trying to get people off. They don't want to pay people. They don't want to do this. But if I have a legitimate documentation of chronic illness, there should be no problems in giving me my money, especially when I've worked for it. I've been on it for since 2018. So you do your review and all of a sudden I'm better? You think I'm better? If anything, I'm worse. You want to know how I'm worse? Because my mentality, my mental status has gone down dramatically because of what I've dealt with. Watching my grandmother get turned off that ventilator. I will never forget that. I will never forget those eyes. I will never forget her gasping for breath. I will never forget my grandfather crying over FaceTime at another hospital fighting COVID for his life. So I've stayed out of the hospital for a reason, because I have fucking PTSD. And I don't want the fucking germs that come with the hospital. So this is why I've been MIA, because I've had panic attacks. I have been completely shut in. I have been trying to plead my case as best I can, waiting for this court date. And yes, I am going to change those batteries in that stupid fire alarm. I don't know why it's going off. it wasn't going off a couple days ago. And then it will like go off and not beep, and then it will beep again like 4 hours later. Like, I don't know, it's confused. It's through ADT, so maybe their system's offline or having issues connecting to my fire detector. But I ordered me some Walmart groceries, so I'm waiting for them to get delivered, and I'm gonna put them away. I'm gonna order me a Subway sandwich, and I'm not gonna cook today, even though I got groceries today, because when I get my infusions, it just wipes me out, you guys. I get so tired, and I'm just tired mentally and physically. I'm just tired. I'm just tired of fighting. I'm tired of dealing with people. I'm tired of having to advocate and prove my illness to people. I'm just so sick of it. I'm just so tired of it. I'm so tired of being labeled. I'm so tired of having to deal with people not understanding. I'm just so tired. You know what I mean? It's like I can't win. You know what I mean? Even if I get something, good, I get knocked down 10 times more. And that just doesn't make my health better. It doesn't help my mind. It doesn't help anything. All it does is make me more stressed out and can create more sickness. And I don't want COVID. I don't want this Delta variant. I don't want to end up in the hospital because I don't have the things that I need. And it's just so frustrating, you guys. One shouldn't have to go through all of this. When you've been diagnosed with something like this and you've been trying to deal with it. I worked 2 full years with this. As it got worse and worse, I was in and out of the hospital. I probably had 20 hospital stays in between the 2 years I was diagnosed and the 2 years I was able to work, until I needed my bowel surgery and I lost my job. They let me go because I couldn't work full time, because I couldn't lift, because I have this in my freaking arm. Because I was recovering from surgery, because I had like 20 staples down my abdomen. I was cut completely open, you guys. I spent almost a month in the hospital. And my job let me go. I will not find just one job because they want me to. I will not. I will not. I refuse to. I am not. And I will fight till the death to make sure that I get this approved. And at this hearing, they are gonna know that they have messed with the wrong sick woman, because I'm gonna give them hell, and all 100% of this Scorpio is gonna come out at that hearing. I'm tired of playing nice. I'm tired of trying to convince people of what's going on with me. I'm tired of trying to plead my case. I'm tired of trying to let people know about what's going on with me and having myself be believed. So you all pray for me. I should be back soon. I'll record something in the meantime, hopefully, and I'll post another video. And I did get a video of my port getting access, because I know I had some questions about that, and people just didn't know about the ports in the arm. People know about the ports in the chest, but some don't really know about the ports in the arm. So I did get a video of myself getting access, getting some blood drawn, and getting hooked up to my chemo today. So I'll insert that video and the pictures that I have along with it from my journey today. And I appreciate you guys listening. Pray for me. Hope everything goes through for me. I don't have a court date yet. I'm waiting for a letter in the mail from Social Security Disability. And hopefully I can try to fight and get Medicaid in the meantime. And hopefully I won't be out of my meds, or I'll be in the hospital, and I'll document that if I'm in the hospital. So hopefully I'll survive. Hopefully I don't contract anything, because I tend to get a lot of hospital-acquired infections when I'm in the hospital. So I just gotta keep fighting and make it through. And here's a look at a lot of the meds that I take every day. This is my to-go med bottle that I keep with me in my purse at all times. So